Legends of Tomorrow, episode 13, Leviathan. So the team has officially made it to Rip's present, which is still technically the past for him, because we find out in this episode that even though they go to, really close to his present, his exact present, I guess, his family is still alive, and he's working towards saving them. They have a couple of days. Of course, we have yet another failed attempt. Two failed attempts, actually, in this episode. They have the first attempt early on, which Snart and Rory, I don't know what their plan was. I think they mentioned it was like, we can do what we did in Chicago, which I don't know how that went, but clearly this mission completely failed when they did that the first time. And then we have the end of this episode, which I was so mad. I was mad that it happened that way, but it was like, man, sometimes, like, when Kendra finally made a decision, it's like, God, sometimes magic really sucks. Like, just, she's in this weird, like, fate state, and, like, that's why she can't, get rid of Savage. Because honestly, in my head, I'm just like, he's gonna come back to life, and it's gonna be fine. Like, who gives a crap? It's one lifetime, and it sucks for him. But, there's something that they can do. Plus, it's brainwashing. I'm pretty sure they could find some legit magic, and lickety split, he's done. He's fine. And you would think Gideon could probably fix him up too. I mean, Gideon, like, replace an entire hand. I feel like Gideon could pull some stuff on some brainwashing. Like, it's really just words driven into your head and images and stuff. Just do that in reverse. I don't know. I was kind of mad. I was like, I understand it because it makes sense for her character. Like, she's in such a crazy position, because it really is. It's based on the magic. Like, they're in love with each other, and now they're like forced to be like madly in love with each other, despite the insanely obvious decision she should have made, which is just kill him off. He's done. Oh, we'll find a way to fix Carter, and if not, so hey, that sucks for that. Literally one lifetime. That sucks, but that's just, it's just not how it's supposed to play out. It's TV, so it can't be the perfect answer all the time, the simple stuff. But it was still a fun episode. We got a crazy, like, giant fight between Adam. He went reverse Adam and, became giant instead. So he's fighting against the Leviathan thing, and it's just like a giant, robo battle, and it almost, like, in a sense. So that was actually pretty cool. I thought they were going to do it where it was going to get really tough for him to win, when the thing started to fly and it like shot him with the blast and it knocked him out. But it did it once, and then it, they did like the charge, and he just like destroyed its head, which looked really cool. But it was like, well, I don't know, him being all pumped up shouldn't have made him like 10 times stronger. But I was like, all right, that looks super sweet. But I thought for sure, I figured it either adapted to his abilities, and that's why it was able to fly, and it like kind of read what he could do, so that's why it started to fly. Plus, it had the the Atom symbol. They didn't touch on that at all. I thought for sure, even when I saw that in the commercial, like, oh, this is going to be based off of Ray's technology, but they never bring that up at all. Like, it has the Atom symbol and everything, but that never actually comes up. So that actually surprised me that there was like no reference to that. Like, oh, it has an Atom symbol on the front. It most of the fight it wasn't doing anything. Then suddenly, after it got knocked down, the feet kind of slide up, and it has like propulsion, and it it can shoot blasts out of its hands too, and still nothing. And then it did that once, and once Ray got up, they do like the clash, and he destroys its head. I was like, all right, that seemed kind of weird that it developed that ability and then instantly didn't use it. It used it once and then didn't use it at all. So that was a little weird how they kind of did that. I was like, I think it would have just been better if it just flat out got up, and maybe it could have just hit him in the face really hard, and that would have knocked him out or something, because it was standing around anyway as he was knocked out. But I don't know. I still thought it looked, either way, I thought it looked cool, but that was just something I noticed. I was like, okay, so it's going to be really tough for him to win now. And, he got the pep talk and stuff, and he got up. And then it just ran at him. Like, it didn't try to shoot him or anything. They just ran toward each other, and he destroyed it. And I was like, oh, alright, I guess it would have made more sense if it was doing that from the beginning and he couldn't beat it, and then he finally got it. But it was still a cool fight. I thought it was pretty interesting. We actually meet like the daughter, which I thought was pretty interesting. We get to meet the daughter of Savage. So that was, what they did with her, I thought was actually pretty cool. Yeah, she comes in, and at first she's like a lieutenant, and it was once they started talking, I was like, that's his daughter. So I knew that like right before she said it. I was like, alright, so that's his daughter. She has all the training, and she's, they have her where she fights like the 3 guys at once and everything, and she's got like the 2 blades, which looked really cool. And it was really fast. Like, Snart talks to her, is like, your dad sounds like my dad, both of them suck. And then he's like, you know what, plain and simple, the ship's all messed up, what else are they gonna do? It's like, look at all these people, they're all super weak, they're not fighting, they aren't rebels, they aren't radicals, they don't have, insanely powerful weapons to even remotely take on your father. And then it's just like, hey, Gideon, play this, random footage that was like right in his face. Which I just thought was funny. It's like when they do that in everything, it's like they just take clips from earlier in the episode or other movies and stuff, and it's like, this is random footage we found. Like, you found that close up, huh? Real random. So I thought that was just funny. It's something like that's always happening. So once that happens, she realizes the truth, and I like the conversation she had with Savage. I thought that was actually pretty cool because it's like, oh, it must have slipped off, and he got super mad at her. And when she was like, tell me it's not true and I might even pretend to believe you, I thought that was actually a really cool line. Like, she was so mad at him, like she'd been betrayed her entire life. But I thought that was really cool, and I'm definitely curious to see where they take her character, because I thought for sure Savage was instantly just going to kill her when he knew that she was lying. I thought he would just, kill her. But he didn't do that, so it's not... I mean, clearly she's chosen her side at this point. Like, she found out the truth, and it's based on, on all on her mother, where it's like the virus was the one that killed her mother, or was the thing that killed her mother, and it was Predegatan that did it, which, I was thinking the same thing, because it was like when he was, I believe when they did it in the initial timeline, they said they skipped like 5 years, so he was already like 12 or something like that, so he really was like 15 to 16 years old, or possibly even 17, when it initially happened. But when the team went back, they like jump started it by 5 years. He was definitely still only like 12 years old, and like Sarah mentioned, he was like a teenager, but like just barely a teenager when everything kind of went off. So it was just it was very interesting how they played that, where it's like he kind of sold his version of history, which makes sense, and kind of acted as if he was the one that stopped this horrible person, even though of course he was the one that started it, just so that he could take over, because he knew it would wipe out more than enough people. It would paint a target on Predegatan, and then he could kind of turn on him. And I'm very confused about kind of his path, because it's like no one stood up to him except for my father. And I was like, was he not there like right behind him the whole time or something? Because he was kind of the one that kickstarted that anyway. So did he start that and then just take off so he wasn't in the spotlight, or how did that play out? Because I'm like, he was the one who kickstarted the whole thing. Why wasn't he there at all until the end? And if he was there the whole time, that should kind of be in there too, where people know like, well, he was there helping them the whole time till the last minute, and then poof, now he's taking over. But that didn't seem to be the case. But Cassie now knows the truth, so we'll see how that plays out. Like I said, I don't know. I don't think she's going to live. In all honesty, I'm pretty sure Savage is going to end up killing her. And we'll see if that happens in the next episode, when he actually starts taking out the ship, which seems to be kind of his goal. I mean, he wants to win, so of course it's his goal. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But I did enjoy this episode. I think the stuff with Kendra, it disappointed me. It made me a little mad at the end, because it was like they could have done it right there. And and it's even worse because it actually makes sense. As much as I hate it, it makes sense because it's magic based, where it's like, that's why she wasn't thinking logically. Like, as much as it sucks, there's no way this guy who really doesn't have any magic, I mean, he himself is kind of magic based because of the whole immortality thing, or at least, he's immortal based on taking their lives, but he doesn't have like any magical qualities outside of just living a long time. He can't, make a spell or anything like that. Well, I guess technically he could, because magic exists, but he can't just do random stuff and make spells, things like that. So any sort of brainwashing, who cares if he has some sort of secret code word? They could easily, well, not easily, but over time they could have totally saved Carter. It would have been fine. Plus, and it's different. Obviously, like I said, it's magic based, and they have this insane connection. And Kendra had another flashback in this episode where she finds out that she can actually use the mace, and that's how they make it into a weapon, which I thought, even when they mentioned that before, I was like, they could just melt it and, turn it into a blade. It's simple. But the way they did it was a million times cooler, where they melted and put it over the mace, and so it's the golden mace. So that was definitely a lot cooler. And she definitely got some good hits in, which brought up a huge question as to how he dies, because she hit him in the head like twice. And when you get hit in the head with a mace, like, you're done. Like, you get hit in the head with a metal ball that has spikes sticking out of it, and she's not coming in with like normal human strength. She's got like hawk girl strength that she would like crush your skull in. And she hit him like crazy a couple of different times. And I'm like, so is it like he doesn't die, but he loses, life force or something based on each hit? Because they had like the crazy sort of concussive waves and stuff every time he got hit. So I was like, is he technically not going to die at all until they like beat the lives out of him? Or how's that going to play out? But it confused me at that point. And then it was like, no, she just has to hit him in the head. And I'm like, he wasn't, it didn't seem like he was cut up or anything like that. And she hit him in the arm. I don't think his jacket was even remotely cut. She like basically did like an uppercut on him with the mace, and nothing was really messed up. Like, he wasn't really bleeding or anything. And I'm like, she definitely hit him in the face at least 2 times. Once again with the mace, it's a ball with spikes on it. He should have been all messed up, and it was totally fine for him. And it was like no real issues whatsoever. So I was like, all right, that's. I'm slightly confused by how that plays out, but ultimately it just came down to she didn't do it anyway, and that was a devastating moment for Rip. Like, he's like, you kill him, and just, you'd save my wife, and you'd save my son. And, we had the story early on with Ray where he's like, every time I tried to save them, it just didn't work. And in his case, that's kind of where he came up with his whole time wants to happen thing. And that's kind of devastating, really sad for him. But, I don't know, it's just like, he is in a crazy position, and of course, they already showed in the trailer. Savage ends up escaping on the ship. I guess his reinforcements come in, take down the ship, and he's just walking past Ray, who's knocked unconscious, and he's just walking down the ship. So it's gonna be crappy for them. They've only got 3 more episodes, which I'm very excited to see. It'll be 2 more after this week because I'm actually pretty behind. Or not too, well, I'm not too far behind. I did my most recent review, or the review for the last episode, like last night, and so that'll be uploaded by the time this is uploaded, of course. But I'm excited to see it. I definitely think this is a fun episode. It just disappointed me at the end that Kendra couldn't do it. But it's like, I can't hate it because it's not bad writing. It's just like, it sucks because it's so, it really is based on that magic. So it's like, it wasn't crappy writing. It was just they wrote it well. They just wrote a crappy situation that made me mad. It's like, dang, I hate it, but it makes so much sense. I can't say it was a crappy writing or anything. It's just a disappointing moment to see because, they had it and now it's gone. So we'll have to see what happens in this next episode, exactly how Savage escapes, and, what he chooses to do with his daughter, I think should be fairly interesting. So I'm really looking forward to that because I think he's going to kill her himself. And that would be a pretty nuts moment when it's like, she's already chosen to go against him because she realized he lied. And then he's just like, you know what, screw this. And he just, flat out kills his daughter. So, I don't know if they're going to do that, but that would be really crazy. I think they're going to have some confrontation where they actually do end up fighting each other. And, they both might get out of it. But I don't think she'll win on her own against him. I don't think anyone could, technically. Except for Kendra, really. And, she was about to. But, like, her and Carter are probably the only 2 people that could truly win against him and just, like, continuous fighting. Everyone else would be, like, knock him down once and, get out of there. But we'll see what happens. But like I said, though, I did enjoy this, so I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. But of course, I want to know what you guys thought about it, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And of course, because we know Savage is escaping based on the promo, I definitely want to know where you guys think that's going to lead, because he's not going to just instantly kill everybody, because obviously that would just end the show. So he's not instantly just going to kill everyone, but he'll probably take Kendra. And I'm curious if he's going to try to brainwash her. I don't know if he really bother with that much time, because it would be harder since she she knows who she is and she's had all the flashbacks and stuff. I don't know if he'd bother even wasting that much time. It's like, screw this, and just once again take another life from her and have more for himself. But it should get pretty crazy, and I think they're going to do a lot with Carter now that he's back in the show. And I don't know if he's going to stay in the rest of the season. That's their way of like bringing him back, and they'll just take him from this time, which I think would be cool, because I thought that's what they were going to do a long time ago when they first killed him, and it's like, no, he's just gone. So they might do that now, where it's like we take him from this crappy future timeline, because there's really no future. By the time he'd be old, the future would still be really crappy, so there's not much else he could have really done, he could really do in this current time. So that might be how they get him back to like 2016 and stuff. But I definitely want to know where you guys think it's going to go as far as Savage escaping and what that's going to lead to. Who's going to be in danger? Who's going to be taken or whatever. And of course, I definitely want to know what you guys thought about this episode in general. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.